Hey everyone, I'm Jenny and I'll be playing the Maryland Junior All-State Bass Clarinet Slow Etude in this video. It's from Advanced Rubank for Clarinet on page 24, number 6, lower line only, and I will play the repeats. And then after I play it, I'll give you some practice tips. So it's not too bad, but whew, it definitely is a long flow. So the first thing that I would have everyone look at in this piece are the 16th notes. And for those of us who haven't played a lot in 6/8 before, they may look a little scarier than they are, but they're only half a beat each in 6/8. So in 6/8, the 8th note gets one beat. So the triplet looking things that we have at the start are all 8th notes and they're all one beat each. So it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the third measure, when we have the 16th notes, those are the notes with the 2 lines on top. Those are just like 8th notes in 4/4 time. So we count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5, 6. Let me play that third measure for you. Not bad. I want you guys to think about moving forward with the 16th notes though, so that they don't drag too much and you don't get bogged down. I think the tempo listed for Maryland is a little fast for the character of this piece. I think they put dotted quarter notes at 54. I played it a little bit slower than that. I think it fits the character better. Now, I want everyone to look at the first measure of the second line. We have 2 phrases in that first measure. We have the end of the first phrase, and then we have a breath mark, and it starts the next phrase. In the next phrase, if we were playing this as a duet, we have the melody. So you need to play out a little bit more. You need to play a little louder, and I think it's okay, in my opinion, to slow down a very little bit right before the breath so you can take some air in and reset for the next phrase. So I'm going to start on the second line now so you can hear that. And then we have the melody. Now, one thing to pay attention to the entire time is that when you play this piece for an audition, you are the soloist. So you need to bump up all of the dynamic levels a little. At the beginning, you're supposed to be playing pianissimo. I would at least play piano, if not a little louder. When we take an audition on bass clarinet, one of the things we want to show the people is that we can really fill up the horn and fill up the room. This doesn't mean that you get to play forte the whole time, but you don't want to be too timid. You want to show them that you really can make a loud sound on bass clarinet. So you want to think of playing with a really round sound, lots of air, and trying to fill up all the space around you. Then, after the repeat, that happens in the third line. That's when we first have marked forte. It's sort of in a credi region of the bass clarinet, so don't push too much. Think about a round sound, an O type of sound, because we start on that C sharp. That's a note that could easily get away from you, so I don't want you to play it too loud and crack. The other thing that we need to look at is down on the 4th line, the last measure. We have a diminuendo coming down with the 16th notes. I think as musicians coming down to the low notes, I want a crescendo. So make sure that you circle it and really do a decrescendo, not a crescendo. This is the last measure of the 4th line. What I really want to do is, but when we get to the very bottom line, it's back to pianissimo, or piano in our case. So really make sure you show those, the judges listening to you in the audition, that you see the diminuendo and that you come down with it. The last thing that you need to do is find a place to breathe after the repeat. So we have about 2.5 lines of music, and when I was practicing it, I tried to practice it in one breath, and that was a little bit much for me. So what I did is, in the last line of music, we have in the first measure A, C, E, A, C, E. Then I took a really quick catch breath after the second grouping of the A, C, E to make it all the way to the end. At the very end, slow down a little ritardando, and come away, put a little diminuendo. So let me play the last line of music for you one more time. And I would schmaltz it up a bit when you go down to the low F and E. Really play a really rich sound. I might even get up to, we'll say piano plus. I really want it to be mezzo piano, because those are some of the best notes on bass clarinet, and you can really show off how you sound. The other thing to remember is that this piece, last year, for Maryland at least, was a clarinet audition piece. So if you know anyone who auditioned last year, you guys can play it together as a duet. Happy practicing!